Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about what looks to be an unbelievable, unconscionable screw up by ICE and the United States and flying in the teeth of a specific order saying you may not do this. All right. This that they did, notwithstanding the direct order, was send someone to Laos, notwithstanding that person's having permanent lawful residence in the United States and a very strong claim that the court wanted to evaluate and therefore said, don't send them away for what's called derivative citizenship. That is citizenship that you gain by virtue of the citizenship of your parents or one of your parents. So the facts of this guy's case, his name Shantia Suvanarath, I hope I pronounce it accurately. He is born in a refugee camp in Thailand and comes to this country before his first birthday. And when he does, he's granted permanent residence, the right to stay here, not the same as citizenship, but a permanent lawful residence before his first birthday. Then has a normal childhood during which, as he tells the court, he always considers himself a U.S. citizen. He comes there before he's one and is given lawful permanent residence. Okay, his parents divorce. And at a certain point, he lives with his mom, at a certain point with his dad. That matters potentially because if you live with a parent in a separated or divorced couple, that the parent themselves have citizenship, then you are, well, basically you have a very strong claim for what's called derivative citizenship. So let me just give you the the basic requirements that the court found. He thinks that he'll be able to stay. Basically, what you do to get derivative citizenship, you got to have a parent naturalized when you were under 18. You have to yourself have been admitted for permanent residence. That happened when he was under 1. At the time they're trying to deport you, you have to be residing based on that admission for permanent residence. And either both parents are naturalized or one is naturalized and the couple has been divorced, and there's the naturalized parent, the father here, had legal custody, which he did for a time. Okay, so it seems a very straightforward case for derivative citizenship. And on that basis, Suvanarath, after receiving from ICE one of their little valentines saying, we're going to deport you first thing to Laos, went to court and said they want to deport me. And here's my situation. And I'm a citizen. I'm not only the equivalent of a green card holder as someone who has a permanent right to stay here. I'm a citizen by derivative citizenship. And the court says, well, that seems like a pretty good claim. I want to, apply the test, etc. But in the meantime, here's the order to that District Judge Shelley Dick enters in New Orleans. Do not deport this guy while we're figuring this out. Next thing we know, he messages his wife and says, oops, I'm in Laos. And, the message ends, love everybody. And so you have the wife saying, this is pretty unfortunate, especially for our children who we have together. And the ACLU has come in and said it's a stunning violation of a federal court order, which it sure seems to be. But, one little detail is he had been detained at this new ICE facility, and they said, we are going to deport you to Laos, which is at which point he comes into the court, and the court says, no, you're not. And the administration says, oh, yes, we are. Now, we have yet to hear from the administration. This has been filed, and we know there's a motion by this. He's made basically a petition in the immigration channel, not the same thing as a lawsuit, ACLU is representing him, and we know that there has been a motion filed by Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem to have their views be heard. But it's going to be pretty interesting to hear what they are. One thinks immediately of the Abrego case, where Abrego was sent to El Salvador and a hellhole prison against a court order, and the instincts of the administration from the beginning to the present day was to justify it and refuse to bring him back, and then bring him back, but only to face criminal charges, and then to say maybe we will. I mean, where we are now is those criminal charges look like they're coming undone. But the fact, and really this is the only real fact that seemed to matter, that Abrego was sent down by mistake, is what triggered an intense PR and legal campaign to keep him from ever having freedom. So we'll see what happens with this guy here. The mistake seems so patent. So do they right away say, oops, we're sorry, he's already coming back on the next plane? Or do they somehow say, oh, too bad, got to break a few eggs to make an omelet? So that's what we're waiting to see. But it certainly seems flagrant. And, if there were another administration and that had done other things, you might by now say, okay, presumption of regularity, benefit of the doubt, big operation, and they can make mistakes. Unfortunately, we've seen this administration be, at best, very derelict and reckless, and at worst, kind of intransigent or prepared to violate court orders. So when something like this happens and this guy winds up in Laos, contrary to an express order from a district court judge, your mind says, okay, what the hell happened here? What did the U.S. do, in fact? And then second, what, because it may differ, something that's again the fruits of the Trump administration, it may differ from what actually happened, but they may represent it in such a way. And will they actually try? It seems like the height of chutzpah and brazenness, so much so that I can't see it. But there have been other things I haven't been able to see before. But if they try somehow to say he's got to stay in Laos, I think this will, what's already become a fairly high-profile matter, will explode into a real political and legal conflagration, starting with the proceedings in Judge Dick's courtroom. So stay tuned for what they say and for what should be the immediate next step of bringing this guy back to his wife and children. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.